Ukraine drones smash Russian oil and military targets. It
Yeah.
is Monday, January 27, 2026, and the ground is really shifting. Subscribe to Defense Reports, your go-to source for timely, in-depth military and defense reports. I'm Alex. Join me with Ari in the latest deep dive by Defense Report for a sharp, no-nonsense breakdown of the latest in global defense news, military technology, and strategic developments. And today, we're going to cover, well, last night.
Yeah.
The sky over southern Russia it turned orange. We aren't talking about a few small fires.
No, not at all.
We're talking about a massive coordinated wave of Ukrainian drones that, bypassed layers of air defense to strike the very heart of Russia's war economy.
The Slavyansk and Krasnodar oil refineries. But it wasn't just oil. It was basically a masterclass in what you'd call multi-domain warfare.
Right.
We saw the blinding of a rare Russian Sea Dragon aircraft, which then paved the way for a historic submarine hit, that subsea baby strike we've been hearing whispers about.
And we are absolutely going to get into that. Plus, the deep analysis on the Oreshnik missile. Why would Russia fire a nuclear-capable weapon at Lviv without a warhead? It's a real mystery we need to unpack. And maybe the most important part, the money. Because explosions look dramatic, but a 46% drop in Russian oil revenue, that might be the thing that actually ends this war.
Exactly. So our mission today is to help you understand this massive shift we're seeing. It's a move from frontline battles to what you'd call strategic attrition.
Meaning?
This is about how Ukraine is dismantling the machine that feeds the war, not just, fighting the soldiers on the ground.
Let's unpack this. We have to start with last night, January 26th and the early morning of the 27th. Social media is just flooded with videos.
It was a pivotal night. The Ukrainian unmanned systems forces launched this huge saturation attack, and they were targeting the Krasnodar region.
Which is deep in the rear, right? This isn't right on the border.
No, this is deep. And the primary targets were the Slavyansk Eco refinery and the Krasnodar oil refinery. And Slavyansk Eco is, it's a beast. It processes over 4 million tons of oil a year.
And eyewitness accounts, they're pretty vivid. Residents reported hearing the drone engines, that sort of a moped in the sky sound, then 5 to 7 huge explosions. It sounds like they were just walking them in.
Well, that sound is psychological warfare in itself, isn't it? But the physical impact is what really counts. And the precision here, that's what's fascinating. They didn't just hit, say, fuel storage tanks.
Which we see all the time, right? Big fire, lots of black smoke.
Exactly. It looks terrible, but a storage tank is, it's just a big steel bucket. You can replace it. The reports and the NASA firm's fire data, they all show they hit the primary oil refining units.
The atmospheric vacuum tube plants. The AVT units.
The AVT units, and that is a kill shot.
Okay, so break that down for us. Why is hitting the AVT unit so much more devastating than hitting a storage tank?
Think of the AVT unit as the heart of the refinery. It's the first step where crude oil gets heated up and distilled, separated into gasoline, diesel, jet fuel.
The whole process starts there.
The whole thing starts there. If you destroy a storage tank, you lose inventory. It's a problem, but you can recover. If you destroy the AVT tower, the entire refinery just stops.
Because you can't process the crude oil.
You can't do anything. And here's the kicker. These aren't off-the-shelf parts. They're highly complex, custom-built distillation columns. You can't just weld a patch on them.
And with sanctions?
With sanctions. Getting the specialized parts to rebuild these is a total nightmare for them. They'll probably have to cannibalize other refineries to even attempt a fix. It'll take months, maybe years.
So Ukraine went for the knockout blow.
A systemic strike. And they did the same thing at the Krasnodar refinery. That one's critical because it produces TS-1 jet fuel.
TS-1. That's for the military jets.
That's the specific grade for their military aviation. So you hit that, and you directly impact their ability to fly combat sorties. It doesn't matter how many jets you have if you can't fuel them.
I have to bring up the official Russian narrative here because it's just wild. They claim 34 drones were intercepted, and the fires were caused by, I'm quoting, falling debris.
Right, falling debris that just happened to fall with pinpoint precision right on top of the most critical, most expensive part of the facility.
Yeah.
The visual evidence just completely contradicts that. This is the energy rear. Under direct assault, you cut the fuel, you stop the tanks.
It's a strategic chokehold. Okay, moving from the refineries.
Yeah.
You mentioned a dragon. The Sea Dragon story, it sounds like a techno thriller.
It really is. To get this, we have to look back a few weeks to late December, early January. Ukraine's been trying to dominate the Black Sea, which is tough when you don't really have a navy. They wanted to hit the submarines hiding in Novorossiysk.
Novorossiysk, that's where the Black Sea Fleet ran to hide, isn't it?
Yeah.
After Sevastopol got too hot.
It became their sanctuary, supposedly. But patrolling the skies above it was this aircraft, the Il-38N, the Sea Dragon. It's their top anti-submarine plane. It has a sensor suite called Novella that can spot underwater drones from miles away.
So the guard dog.
The ultimate guard dog. As long as that plane was flying, Ukrainian sea drones were sitting ducks.
So how do you get past it?
You don't. You take out the guard dog first. And this is the brilliant part. The SBU, Ukraine's security service, they launched a preparatory strike at its airbase, but they used a drone with a special airburst warhead.
Airburst?
Yeah, it was packed with 2,000 fragments.
2,000. So it's a giant shotgun in the sky.
That's a good way to put it. It detonated above the aircraft while it was parked. It didn't blow it up into a fireball. It just shredded the sensitive radar, the electronics, the engines. It blinded the Sea Dragon.
It is surgically precise.
And brutal.
And that's the multi-domain genius of it. With the Sea Dragon blinded, the Black Sea was suddenly open. The eye in the sky was gone. So Ukraine launched a subsea baby, an underwater drone. Different from the surface ones we've seen.
Right. Operates under the waves. It traveled 400 nautical miles, completely undetected because the Il-38N wasn't there to spot it. It slipped right into Novorossiysk and hit a Varshavyanka-class submarine.
A Kilo-class attack sub. That is a massive asset to lose, especially to a drone.
It's a huge deal, and it shows this incredible level of planning. They used an air attack to enable a sea attack to destroy a naval target. It's chess, and Ukraine is playing several moves ahead.
And that philosophy connects back to the refineries, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Saturate the air defenses to blind them so the real payload can get through to the EVT tower.
It's the same logic. Overload the system, blind the sensors, strike the critical node.
So the refineries are burning, subs are getting hit. But there's this other, quieter battlefield, the bank account. And this stat, it's just a showstopper. January 2026, oil and gas revenue for Russia is down 46% year on year.
46%. I mean, just let that number sink in.
That's nearly half. Gone.
It's a staggering figure. It puts their revenue at the lowest level since August 2020. And think about what was happening then. The whole world was in lockdown. Oil prices were on the floor.
So for them to be at that level now, it implies a catastrophe for their budget.
It does. They have reserves, sure, but they are burning through them. Oil and gas are, 25% of their federal budget? It's the war chest.
It pays for everything.
It pays for everything, and when it drops by half, the math just stops working. Do you pay soldiers? Do you build missiles? Do you prop up the ruble? You can't do it all.
And this isn't just about the price of oil. It's a combination of things. Right? The refinery hits and sanctions finally biting.
It's a perfect storm. The refinery strikes reduce their capacity to export high-profit products like diesel, but at the same time, there's a massive crackdown on their shadow fleet.
The ghost ships. I saw the news about the Olina.
That's a huge development. The U.S. Navy seized that tanker in the Caribbean. Actually, seizing a ship is a major escalation. It sends a message.
And they're trying to hide them, right? Painting over names on the hulls.
It's called flag hopping. It's desperate. We saw a tanker named Veronica literally paint over its name to become the Galileo and raise a Russian flag. But satellites can still track them. The tricks are working less and less.
So you've got refineries burning, meaning less product to sell, and tankers getting seized, meaning they can't ship what they do have.
It's a squeeze from both ends, a cascading economic crisis.
So with all these hits, how is Russia responding?
Yeah.
It seems different. This concept of reflexive control keeps coming up.
It is different, and it's dangerous. Reflexive control is this old Soviet doctrine. The idea is to feed your opponent information so they voluntarily make the decision you want them to make. It's weaponized psychology.
And that's what the Orishnik missile strike was about. Because tactically, that launch made zero sense.
Okay, look at the facts. January 8th and 9th, Russia fires an Oreshnik, a hypersonic, nuclear-capable ballistic missile at Lviv.
But with a dummy warhead, right? It was basically a giant metal dart.
Exactly. Why would you waste a multi-million-dollar asset like that? You don't use a Ferrari to deliver a pizza.
Unless the point isn't the pizza, it's showing everyone you have a Ferrari.
You've hit it. The target wasn't Lviv. The target was the mind of the West. It was a signal. He's saying, I can hit you close to the Polish border with something big. He wants the West to get scared, to back off on security guarantees.
Saber rattling with a hypersonic saber.
And it's such a stark contrast. Ukraine is hitting the fuel that powers the war machine. Russia is engaging in psychological terror and these reckless grid attacks.
Right, like cutting power to the Kornable substations again.
Which is just unbelievably reckless. You're messing with nuclear safety systems to freeze civilians. It's not a military strategy, it's terror. It shows the difference in doctrine.
And we can't ignore the actual front line in all this, what's happening in the trenches.
It's chaos, especially in the Kharkiv region. We're getting reports of severe coordination failures on the Russian side.
The friendly fire incidents. How does a modern military shoot down its own helicopter?
Panic. In the chaos of trying to stop Ukrainian drones, their air defense reportedly shot down one of their own K-29 helicopters, and there are reports of their artillery shelling their own guys.
Wow.
It suggests the command structure is just fraying under this constant pressure.
And Ukraine is still hitting logistics right behind the lines, too.
Correct. Alongside the big refinery strikes, they hit ammo depots in occupied Donetsk and a UAV control point near Velika Novosilka.
Taking out a drone control point. That must be a huge blow.
It's critical. You take out the pilots and the antennas, you create a bubble of safety for your own troops. It directly weakens their offensive push near Pokrovsk. It saves lives.
So to bring this all together, we have Ukraine winning what you call the battle of the rear.
Yeah, blinding surveillance with the Sea Dragon hit, burning the fuel at the refineries, and just strangling the budget with that 46% revenue drop.
And Russia is responding with nuclear gestures and crude assaults on the ground that are just costing them so much.
That's the picture.
It just raises this huge question for me. If the Russian energy rear collapses, if the money really runs out, does the stalemate on the front line even matter anymore?
That is the ultimate question, isn't it? Wars aren't always decided in a final battle. Sometimes one side just loses the ability to function.
Is the war being decided in the refinery pipes of Krasnodar rather than the trenches of Donbas? That's something to think about. You've been listening to Defense Report by Alex and Arya, where we analyze the latest in military strategy, global defense, and advanced weaponry. Subscribe to Defense Reports, your go-to source for timely, in-depth military and defense reports. We'll catch you next time.